Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to Global Happenings today. We do have a trending news for you, and the topic reads: Junaid Mohammed calls South Presidency 2023 Arrant nonsense, says the North will never surrender power. Okay, but before we go straight into the news and further analysis, would you like you to subscribe to our channel if you have not, by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Alright, let's go straight into the news of the day. Junaid Mohammed, a member of the Second Republic Parliament, has declared that the North has no intention to surrender power to any region come 2023. What makes anybody think that those who are now holding power are going to voluntarily surrender power in 2023? He said. According to him, he said, I don't know. So, zoning and rotation afford us the worst, the elder statement said. The South elders came up recently to state that it is their turn to run the affairs of the country when President Muhammad Buhari's tenure expires in 2023. They pointed out that their region should complete the remaining 4 years of Goodluck Jonathan's presidency, but this Mohammed described as arrant nonsense. The former lawmaker believes that no one would have given the South a two-term, adding that the region wouldn't have even produced a president at all if not for the death of Umar Yar'Adua. He added that some corrupt northern politicians in the PDP cut a deal with Jonathan, but the deal backfired. It didn't work, he said. Now they want to go the way the other two regions in the South are. That is by blackmailing and agitation. Let them go and join them. No problem. There's nothing wrong with it. After all, the other people have been doing it. Why should they be left behind? If Umar Yar'Adua didn't die and he did his 8 years, it was absolutely certain that Goodluck Jonathan would never have been president. He became the president by virtue of the fact that he was the vice president by the time Yar'Adua died. To assume that it was a favor done to him or to his region was neither here nor there. It is unhistorical. We can never wake the dead. We would have known whom he negotiated with other than the Nigerian Constitution, which provided him to be president in the event of the death or the incapacitation of the president, he said. Nigerians have decided to react. In fact, they are reacting very seriously over this. The man has a way of always saying things that provokes everyone, as it causes everyone to react one way or the other. But let's say what Nigerians are saying concerning what he has said. Quite an interesting topic, if you ask me. This one says, by fire by force, the North must relinquish power. Bam. Jonah should stop flying a kite that cannot fly. Okay. Another one said, the South is not entitled to the presidency, according to Mr. Junaid Mohammed. She's part of Nigeria only for the purpose of supplying resources for the Nigerian nation. Indeed, Nigerians beasts of burden or guinea pig. This kind of stinking arrogance is not good in multi-ethnic country like ours, and it is a shame that this man was a senator in Nigeria and he could become the president of Nigeria tomorrow. God forbid. On which grounds? Another one said the best option for everything is that if two can't work together, you can go your separate ways. For development, preservation of life of cattle and herders, farmers, religious men, and so on. This one says Amos 3:3. Okay. And that one says we don't need power, we are going our separate ways. They're talking about secession, division of the country. And that one says nothing people is looking for problem. Let Nigeria divide simple, Araba simple, and let any religion be on his own. Another one says, thunder will kill anyone from South that will vote for any cow flies, any cow fleas in the region. Alright. Another one says, if power was everything, The North should have been like Dubai. Upon being in power for many years, they are the poorest in Africa. No education, no social life, no peace, no jobs. Headquarters of poverty is in the North. Killing, destruction, terrorists, bandits, mass beggars, mass burial, religious crisis, child marriage. This is their tradition. The North are least people who supposed to be heading wise men and women from the South side. Junaid, please, if not for the betrayal of our forefathers, which part of the South will want to be part of the lazy and illiterate North? Take note, for the North to ask for the presidency again after their corrupt and tribalism with total disaster and unacceptable. And that one says, all we need is Biafra. We are Biafrans, not Nigeria. Oh, so many reactions. I can't afford to take them all, but from all indications, we have all heard what Nigerians are saying. They're all getting really pissed off for the fact that Junaid Mohammed has made such very negative statement, if you ask me. Saying that the North will never release power. It's crazy, really. They will never release power in come 2023. So is there any need for us to have a political party? If the North will not release power, then there's no need for political party. Let them just nominate any northern person and continue from where they stop, because it doesn't make any sense. If you say this is democracy and we are multi-ethnic group, Nigeria has more than 300 ethnic groups, some minor, some major. In fact, these days we don't have even major ethnic groups anymore. All we have North, Hausa, Fulani. That's what we get to hear. They don't seem to recognize other ethnic groups. Even in the helms of affairs, the chief of staff, security chiefs, majority of them, are from the North. So you get to feel it's as if Nigeria is predominantly a northern Nigerian. It's predominantly a northern state, and it's wrong. We're supposed to be multilingual. We're supposed to be multi-ethnic in all ramifications. We're supposed to be, absorbing all forms of all the ethnic groups should be well represented in the affairs of Nigeria. But that's not what we are seeing right now. We're seeing everything predominantly the North, and like one rightly says, if the South are good for getting all the required resources like oil and the rest, then so they're not good for there's this saying, the one we used to say, one of a friend of mine used to say something, say more bim fagot, meaning I get a local name, but you get the foreign name that looks good. You take the finest part of everything, but I get the local one that does not make any sense. So what it means is that, if the South are good to be milked, all the resources that is making Nigeria beautiful, you sap it out from the South, all the taxations, all the that's coming from the South, that's coming from the Southwest. Lagos is one of the tax states that gets revenue from fiscal taxation, because of the many companies that are present, headquarters of companies that are present in Lagos. So they get a lot of tax incentives and financial help from that angle. And the South here, a lot of them have oil and gas, and all that. So you find out that a whole lot of times the revenues generated are from the South. Yes, I stand to be corrected, but yes, they are all majorly from the South, Southwest, and they use it to buffer, to make keep Nigeria running. And the best, June I can say is that the North will not relinquish power. Fairly recently, we were meant to understand that we have over billions of untapped crude oil in the North. That's a good news, if you ask me. And if when things begin to happen this way, one begins to take a retrospect, really. What has the North brought to the table that will cause them to say that they deserve presidency forever? They've been at the helms. This mentality of born to rule. It's not taking Nigeria too far. Nigeria, as the giant of the nation, quote unquote, ought to exhibit the level of giantism, permit me to use the word, in every aspect of life, of our economy. But that's not the case. The headquarters of poverty lies here in Nigeria, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria. When it comes to terrorism, when you talk about terrorism, when you mention terrorism in Nigeria, it all is manufactured, produced, harnessed, and fine-tuned from the north. Banditry, talk about Fulani herdsmen, all from that angle. They keep churning out menaces, in the name of one united Nigeria, and the south keeps bringing out things to see how we can curb it. And if presidency, we've been doing this whole issue of presidency and has not taken us this far, why don't you try other regions for a change? We're not saying that that South being the president will take anything from the north. No, it doesn't. We need development as fast as we can. Other countries are thinking of flying cars. Other countries are thinking of producing technologies that would take using the nature to produce technology, like maybe solar and the solar powered cars. I don't think Nigeria have really produced from start to finish, produced, except for one or two times. Maybe I've seen one or two things produced during the war. I wasn't during the war there, but I was told that some of the things were produced during Biafra was some wonderful things. Imagine if we have wonderful things. Imagine if we have such technologies, such wherewithal, social amenities readily on ground, and encourage our locals to go into production. You'll be amazed what we produce in this country. We've got good brains, we've got good hands, but the social amenities is so poor, so bad. The roads are bad, corruption is on the high side, all manner of things that are going wrong. But we're not talking about this. We're talking about politics, playing politics with people's life. It's so wrong. The fact that Junaid is even saying this, it shows ethnicity and does not go well. Nigeria is too big for one ethnic group to rule. Nigeria is too multifaceted for one ethnic group to rule for a long time. If this continues, other ethnic groups will feel marginalized if they are not well represented in a country that they contribute their quota to. They will feel marginalized. Hence, you begin to hear things like secession, just like the Biafrans are asking for the secession, just like some of the groups in Oduduwa, I'm talking about the Yoruba, are also beginning to look towards the fact that they should have their own country as well. This whole issue of regional policing, before now, regional security outfit, before now, they were looking at it on the ground that this may be another form of secession where, there will be regional. This was something, restructuring that they didn't want initially. Now, you see, the federal might come into place and look, it's not going to be a regional police, it's going to be controlled, it will be community policing, which means it will have a great level of control by, the federal might, the FG. But we're still watching. I'm talking about the issue of Arrant. We're still watching because one or two things have been adjusted here and there. But we're still watching to see if it's going to truly be a regional outfit or it's going to be, or going to be community policing, as I've said. But these are the things that make people to wonder, are we truly one Nigeria? Coming from someone of that magnitude, speaking the mind of the North. He doesn't just spill rubbish. Whatever he says, he's speaking the mind of majority of Northerners. Maybe whatever this political party affiliation here and there, whether we finish or you don't, if you like, make all your campaign. The truth of the matter is, come to 2023, the North continues. So it's not, if you like, campaign, riot, do here. You've heard what he has said. If you like, do your agitation. So he says, according to him, he says it's normal. If you like, let the South join the so-called agitation. It doesn't change the fact that by 2023, the North continues. I hope Bola Ahmed Tinubu is listening to this. But that's where we're going to wrap this up. What do you think about Junaid saying that no matter what anyone does, South or South in general, the North will not relinquish their power come 2023? It still continues and remains in the North. Let's go to a comment section. Let's interact.